By now you've heard about Facebook changing their name to Meta and introducing the Metaverse to the world. And what you may not realize about this is that it is a huge shift in the way that we approach everything in the marketing journey, in business, in the way that we interact in life. We are going more and more digital, and this is just the latest evolution, which means that you need to figure out everything about this medium so that you can figure out how to advertise in there and market effectively to the people inside the metaverse. So today I'm going to tell you all about how this is different from traditional digital media, what marketing inside the metaverse is like right now, and what we should expect is coming in the future. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a marketing strategist, and on this channel I talk about all the things that you can do to improve your business through marketing, sales, and analytics. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, comment to let me know what you think of the metaverse or metaverses in general, whether it's the upcoming one that I'm sure is coming with Apple, Microsoft's HoloLens, etc. I would love to know how you feel about this, how you see yourself fitting in. Just let me know. But until then, let's get started. All right, so let's talk about some differences between traditional digital media and the metaverse here. Because on its face, it kind of seems like the same thing, right? I mean, a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an Android, we're all able to access YouTube and Facebook and all of these other systems that we want to, anything on the web, through our browser windows. And we can do the same thing through the metaverse. So if we're talking about accessing Facebook, for instance, you can access Facebook, you can look at the ads, you can get the algorithm to understand what you're looking for, etc., and then you can move off of it. But the amount of information that you're given on a Mac versus a PC versus an iPhone versus an Android is very different, because the restrictions on data and the amount of data that they are granting to Facebook is different, because users now have to specifically agree that they want to provide that data to Facebook. And so that severely limits the amount of data that they have compared to the Wild West that they've had in the past, where they could just have any information they want about you and do whatever they wanted with it, regardless of controversy. It is much more difficult for them to do that now. So what's different here is the fact that they made the hardware. So whereas PC and Mac and all of them can say, nope, we have an overlying system that says you can get this, you can't get that. Here, with the meta systems on the metaverse, with the Meta Quest, etc., now Facebook is able to say, oh yeah, we can give you all that data. That's not a problem, because we're giving it to ourselves, right? And so that's really important. Whereas on most situations, when you're accessing a site, you have that pixel data, and that pixel data is giving 5% of what it used to. Here on the Meta Quest in the metaverse, they can give 100% of what they want to. So just to flesh out that pixel thing a little bit better, a pixel is a piece of code that lives on most websites. So you install it on your site, and then when somebody comes to your site from Facebook or from some other source, Facebook will know and send that data through the pixel back to the Facebook servers, so that Facebook and Meta can know what actions have been taken. So they'll get a whole bunch of information. They can get your device type, your email address, your location, how long you were on the site, what pages you visited. There's thousands of pieces of information that they pull when they send that pixel information back to Facebook. Apple and Google have added those protections on top of the system, so that a lot of that information is blocked unless it's specifically given permission for by the user and the owner of that system. So me as the iPhone owner can say, yes, I want them to get marketing information, or no, I don't. And in the metaverse, that isn't an issue, right? As we just discussed, because you're buying their hardware, they are not beholden to the rules of Apple or Google. They can track every single thing that you do via the metaverse at all times. They own the hardware and the software. So for advertisers, this just brings that targeting ability back to those pre-scandal Wild West levels. Let's talk about where we are with VR advertising right now, so you can understand what actions you could take starting today, and then we can talk about the future in just a minute. So prior to the Meta branding, Facebook did try advertising in VR using placed ads, pay-per-click ads, that sort of stuff. They experimented by fitting ads into different games. So unsurprisingly, there was a lot of backlash for this. One of the major games in the test, which was a paid game, people had to pay to play this game, was called Blast On, and the game pulled out after community backlash. They decided that the PR was just too bad and they didn't want to deal with it anymore. Now that test still seems to be going, so we'll see what it looks like, but for now, it's mostly stuck inside free games and not not those that people have paid for. Okay, so paid ads aren't really possible right now, but what is? Well, there are a few things. The first one I want to point you to is partnerships. So partnerships are always an effective method. You can kind of think of this like influencer marketing, where you're going to partner with an already successful product inside of this space, whatever space that is. Maybe that's video games, maybe that's influencers, whatever. And you just want to kind of think of how to build incentives for people to get really excited about associating your product with the thing that they already love. So a great example here is Fortnite and Marvel several years ago. So this is not in Metaverse, but it still really does a good job of illustrating this partnership. So Fortnite is a video game with 100 people in an arena, and the last man standing is the winner. Marvel is, of course, Marvel. They've got billions and billions of dollars in movies and video games and TV shows, etc. And before Avengers Endgame came out, Fortnite added a game mode where if you picked up the Infinity Gauntlet, which in the story is something that Thanos uses to wipe out half of the civilization of the universe, you can temporarily become Thanos, stomp around, destroy everybody and everything in sight. And this drove huge hype for the game, but it also drove a lot of extra hype for the movie because of that partnership. They really fed off of each other. Now in Metaverse, Gucci has already been partnering with Roblox to provide some shareables inside the game and get people excited in there as well. Next is community engagement. So community is the biggest driver of sales in any environment, and Meta is pushing themselves out there as a device to build better communities. So if you aren't focusing on building your own community, you're probably missing the point here. You want to look for community in all of the public spaces and start to build your own kind of fortress inside the metaverse. Honestly, it isn't exactly out there right now, so I wouldn't be surprised to see influencers starting to come up here and content creation becoming more and more important via the metaverse in a very similar way that it has to social today. But right now, it doesn't have that same influencer content creation sort of style, but I could see that coming. Next, let's talk about the digital physical mix. So remember that this is a digital world. So people may want to move through that world with digital versions of the things that they love in the real world. So clothing items, a bike, a car, something like that. So if you're selling something physical, think about adding a digital version of it. Now, why is this beneficial? I mean, yes, you're selling this to a person in the digital world, but that's not really who you're targeting in the digital world. You're targeting anybody interacting with your customer. Think of this like a shopping bag with a logo on the front. Do you think that that logo is there to look nice or to make the person holding it feel good? No, it's to show everybody else that the person holding that bag shopped at that store and they should too. So you can do the same thing here and have similar results. And the last idea I have for you for the current day is to look at Second Life for inspiration. So Second Life, if you don't know, is a long-running virtual world. It's like the original Metaverse, but it was way before its time. It's still around, it's just not super relevant anymore. Second Life is made up of infinite islands where people can go to interact, start businesses, talk to each other, play games, whatever. And many companies, when it was super popular, had their own islands that they built out for different purposes, like Dell Island, etc. So they could have people go there to sell real world products, they built communities there, all that sort of stuff. They can take those exact same ideas of community building and presence in the environment, and you can kind of bring them here. I mean, it's not just about the community, we talked about that before, but it's about everything with Second Life. It's about building your own space. It's about bringing that physical digital space into a single spot. It's about making those physical things digital and those digital things physical. You can sell things directly through there. You can sell digital products to them. You can sell physical products to people. You can market to them there. You can interact with them. There's so much that you can do in this digital space. It's kind of crazy. So look at Second Life and really understand what people have done well there and take that and apply it here in the metaverse. So now let's talk about what's coming. Honestly, there's only one thing. You can fight it all you want, but ads will be in the metaverse. The ads will be in VR. Now, I don't think that it's going to be like that scene in Ready Player One with all the ads blocking the player's view and nobody can see anything, but I do think that you have to expect that this is going to appear at some point. Meta has historically pushed changes like these until people just accept them. This is going to be no different. So what can you do right now? You can build your lists and your groups. You can start to acquire the number of people who are coming in and showing interest in you and your systems and your products and what you have to offer, so that when it is time to advertise to them, you can advertise directly to them or build lookalikes off of the list of people who are already in the metaverse. This is just going to help you to be ready when it's time to act and paid ads are available. Now, obviously, this is not totally filled out yet, but the changes in the metaverse are already huge and they're already changing kind of everything. The landscape is changing beneath our feet. And as others join this market, meaning Microsoft going deeper with their HoloLens, meaning Apple getting into the VR, AR space, which is coming, the ways to take advantage of these metaverses and getting people to see your products and your worth are only going to be more and deeper. So I hope that helped you to figure out how to take advantage today. Let me know what you're thinking of the metaverse, how you see yourself fitting in there, etc. I would love to know. Otherwise, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, and I will catch you in the next one.